We're on our lunch break on Thursday at the 2003 team trials, and after burning up the better part of a case of fuel, Kent and I have decided we're going to do our normal annual, semi-biannual clean the filters, check it. Oh, he's looking like he's working real hard. Decided to postpone the maintenance, did you? Don't you know these planes require a 25,000 mile checkup? Usually I like to clean the filter and look around inside and clean off whatever schmutz, put a little bit of wax on it. Kent has decided sleep is a better choice. Not so sure he's not right.
Just dreading getting up.
Just dreading, come on, dreadnought, get up. Anyway, this is always a part of it, and this is the biggest part. It's cool in here. That's the reason we're doing it. If we had to do this outside, we wouldn't do it at all. Maintenance done. Let's see what's going on in Tyser's room. It's maintenance time. Oh, maintenance. Okay. Pull it apart. Is there any chance you guys got some little jet decals? You know those jet decals he gives you with the motor?
I didn't never get any.
Right? Oh! So we got any? Maybe Richard's got. I need to put a little decal over a paint where the paint is all ripped off.
Just talk to Richard.
Yeah, Richard's probably got it. I'll just cut one up when I see him. Okay, so we're going to look at how Tyser's cal system, which looks a little better engineered than mine anyway.
It's how that goes in there. But you got to cut the pipe.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Right.
I don't like that. Well, Les is going to come up. He's committed to excellence. He's already making drawings in his mind.
I know what it's going to be.
He's already got it. Yeah.
He's already got it. Velcro. Put a nylon stocking over the body that holds the pipe on.
And then heat it.
Let's see how this.
Sucker.
Yours comes off with two screws on one side, one screw on the other side. Is that how that works?
Yes, just one screw here, one screw here.
And what's up in the front?
2 pins.
Oh, and 2 pins. Okay.
And notice, see.
Oh, but this is balsa wood, though. This is not carbon fiber.
Yeah, this is balsa.
Okay.
But it's they're angled.
Right.
Press it.
Okay.
And then they really lock up when you put the back.
Yeah.
When you line it up in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I like that. And you painted everything black in here.
Yeah, up to the firewall, F2.
Okay. Yeah.
Silver.
Now you can't take your motor out without taking a pipe out, though.
Right, I can't take the pipe and the motor out. I have to cut the pipe.
You have to cut. Okay.
Yeah. And don't think that it hasn't been thought of how to just cut this section out right here and just glue it onto the cowling.
Well, what would be wrong if you made this piece come back here?
That's what I'm saying.
Since it's balsa wood, who cares?
Yeah, that's.
But if we make one up out of carbon fiber, if we make a mold next year and put the carbon fiber, we can cut it anywhere you want.
What I'm thinking that might be out of carbon fiber, what might work out the best and what I would like to do is just extend this piece all the way up to here where the cowling bolted on here to where you take the cowling off. That's one piece.
Right. And make two pieces.
Piece.
Yeah. Well, the idea of the carbon, you can make it all in one piece, and you save a joint.
Well,
and
Ken, I've got to tell you something. If you were to take the bottom of the fuse up near where the header is, okay, you got a straight line there. Run that all the way back remove that piece all the way back to the end of the pipe compartment, okay?
I understand.
To the bulk, you got a bulkhead here somewhere.
Yeah, right there where your finger's at.
Come back to the bulkhead, okay. Now, the new piece that you make up, you put a block on, all right? Sand the contour and include in the contour a little bump here for the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically, you got a pen and pencil?
Not right.
But aesthetically, what you're doing is you're going to take this line and run it up a little bit. You're going to belly it up, right? And then belly it down and reflex it in this area. So what you got to have is this opening. Now you're going to say, where am I going to get cooling? What you can do when that piece is made out of carbon fiber is take slots like this.
You can make hood louvers.
Put a band around, and that way you don't destroy the contour of the bottom block. And
yeah, you can still maintain the bottom block shape.
You can have a row of those
louvers.
Well, not louvers. They're just oval shaped
stunt ducts.
Stunt ducts.
But you know who used that first and very effectively was the exhaust on the Stiletto 660 that Les McDonald built. He had 5 of them underneath, and it really looked so cool.
Yeah, it looks nice.
alter
But you see the
silhouette
right.
of the airplane.
From the side view, it doesn't look like it's there.
Right.
Because what looked funny on this, when I flew it the first time, it looked like there was a gap in the back.
Right, but see, that
Like
was
somebody took a bite out of the
that
pipe
was
or something.
before when I had the straight
Right,
pipe.
right,
The
right.
pipe hung
The
out
pipe
here.
sticks
But
out
now
on an
it's still
angle.
got a little bit of a bite right here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you could cut that stinger down, you know. You could
Now,
cut it.
I wish the Stinger was angled more, and I could deal with it hanging down more, and then that way, because the fuel starts about right here, and then goes up.
Well, you know what Jacobone did? You could try it. He put one of those rubber things on, but going back. Instead of going down, he put it on a 90-degree
Well, look at
angle.
what Bobby did, he ran it out the side.
Yeah, yeah. You could try that.
You get it, well, no, this is a bent pipe.
Yeah, the pipe's bent.
Okay, so you can't rotate it. Although if you got another pipe with the same bend,
Yeah.
you
Now
can
this-
take this stinger off and put a stinger coming out the side.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, I can rotate this, because if you'll get down and look,
You got to have that bend in a pipe when you make a straight.
Yeah.
Without that bend, the pipe sticks out on a crazy angle.
yeah, I can bow it probably 20 degrees one way, and it'll still clear in there.
If
But like I
you-
say, my header,
You know
it's
what?
black.
You know what? Get another.
I wouldn't even wipe it. This is running
what?
fine.
This is 1.25 rise header?
Yeah.
Well, that's a small one, right?
Small. If I get 1.5 inches,
It sticks up
the
too
header's
big.
way up to here, and
You're kidding.
oh, it's a big difference.
It's a giant difference.
It's almost, yeah, it's, in fact, I built
I
one
would think
fuselage
that it
like
couldn't-
that, but it looked like it
Couldn't
was,
be more than 1/4 inch.
No, it's if they say it's a 1/4 inch, when you get it, you look, it's gigantic. It's probably a real
I
half inch.
compared the 1 inch, the 1.25 inch, and the 1.5 inch on the Rojet 440, and they are exactly 1/4 inch apart.
I don't know why. Maybe these aren't. Maybe they are, and we just don't know how to measure them. I don't know.
Well, what I did to measure them,
see what I was talking about with the,
Yeah,
I safety wire it in.
Right, and you got the carbon tank in there floating in a box in,
Yeah.
in its own little container. That's nice. It's a nicely engineered nose. Spinners polished
I gotta
nice.
see that.
Look how do you have an extra tank thing?
I've got it in the car.
Oh, well, let's show Les how
This
you.
one's a little nice.
Look at how he made the tank go in and out of there, Les. Which is a real nice little accoutrements.
Okay, so this is all glued in. Oh, sure, he's got 1/4 inch triangle stock there. And then he slides the tank into its own box, and then slides the whole kit and caboodle
Yeah, it's
right
real
in.
nice.
Since it'll be on video, we'll have to use it for carbon.
This is a nice little. No, the way you did this was nice. We were going to put this on a gnats. We just forgot to. This is a great little way if you're going to use a carbon tank.
Now, the one that's in this plane, they actually come up and they're flush off.
Right, right.
Slide this in,
Yeah,
slide the carbon tank in,
yeah,
and this tank's a little bit long, as you can see.
yeah,
But, put a little piece here to stop it,
yeah,
and then there's a piece up here to stop it.
right, so it's
So
not,
it's slid in,
right,
so it can only,
All
way there can be
of the
pressure.
force is on the back, on the ends. There's no
That's on-
force in the middle.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what we're talking about.
and, like I say, this tank,
That's the new tank I just made you?
no, this is actually the one that come out of Dago Red. This is
That's a
6
Dago Red?
1/4.
Okay,
This is 6 1/4. It won't fit in that plane.
okay.
And basically what I do is in my other shim,
Yeah,
you know, it's pretty heavy duty.
right,
It goes in, and you know exactly it's the right length, so you know that it can't be too far or too
Right.
back.
right,
Only
right,
pressure.
right,
Another shim, and as you can tell on there, a shim goes in with a little tab on it that's bent down, a hold down screw that you
It's a
just,
nice way because none of the stress is on the part of the tank.
yeah,
It's all on the end caps where it should be.
Yeah.
That's what even happens with metal tanks. You force this down and it doesn't go to the end. It puts all the force right here pushing down.
yeah.
And then you get a leak.
Join apart.
It pull, yeah, well, we had a couple of them fail already like that. Now they don't, because I put an extra piece inside. But the early ones, when guys had hammered a shim in, they'd say, oh, it's leaking, it's leaking.
yeah. That's really seems to
That's nice, that's a good clean setup.
That's a real nice, I like that.
Well,
Nice little tech setup.
It almost got to the point to where I was running a 1/2 ounce carbon tank, and the next thing I knew, I was getting up to 1 ounce in shims and special little things here and there. So finally, it was just time just to sit down and make something.
Right.
But those things, you could drill, like this shim here, you could drill hole, you could
Oh,
make
yeah.
this thick. If you need
feel of it.
nothing.
I mean,
know,
it's nothing now. I mean, you put it on, it might be.
And every tank needs to shim. If you build a plane with a tank you can't shim, that's really it's not going to be right on the
So
first
you got
shot.
a tank carrier essentially.
Yeah, you got a little tank carrier. That's nice.
Carrier assembly. Oh, wait, whoa. This is exactly one that I wanted to see.
They come apart. You can pull them apart. You sure in there you don't have any little decals I can put over that bad paint spot?
Hey,
What do we have decal-wise here? We got to go buy some. You know, I bet if there's a car part store, they'll have little American flags or something.
Why aren't we, when we sitting around some night having nothing to do,
Cutting out the holes.
taking out a Dremel and
Now, it looks like it might be unflyable. We're going to head back to the field. But in the afternoon, the hot part of the afternoon, from 3 to about 5, it really does get gusty and buffety and just plain miserable. So we'll check it out. If nobody's down there, we'll just come back and relax. The weather has been great. So far, so good. Back at the field, it is hot. Hot. The flyers are all coming in for their evening practice session, one by one. And I think Bob Hunt is the first one up on the circle opposite us. And the guys that practice flying RC down there, I don't think there's any events, they're just having a fun fly. Bob Hunt's the first one up. Trying to find a position where we can't really get dead downwind here, but practice flights. Thursday night, 2003 team trials. Got some biplane action going on overhead here, full-size biplanes. And there is a great little airport right on the edge of this facility. Well, we stayed, we didn't get any video, of course. We stayed at the field till after dark working on our setup. We had a little bit of a problem with the motor going lean at the end of the flight. We're going to go back to the motel and take the filters apart and tanks and everything and see what. That's part of the thrill of being on the F2B contest here. Anyway, it's dark. We haven't eaten. We're going to work on a plane. You may think it's all fun and games being at the team trails. Now we got maintenance to do here. You got to figure out why we're getting these lean parts at the end of the run, and we will basically change the engine, the pipe, the filter, the tank. We're not going to fool around, but the main thing is we're going to send out for a pizza. That'll make the work. Anytime you got to do any serious work, you need a pizza. Without a pizza pie, this job will never get done. We're not going to get any sleep tonight anyway. I hate to give away the stunt secrets of the world, but this is the real. This is the secret. You get the engine out of the plane, you get parts all over the room, you make a total disaster mess out of it, you take your box of engine parts, your venturis, your carbon tanks, but you gotta have a pepperoni pizza. This morning turned out to be what looked like unflyable air. Everybody took one flight and then it started raining. I got a couple flights, worked on my problems, but it looks like the weather's going downhill. It's going to turn into some nasty weather later, they're predicting. According to Gieske, our weatherman, those clouds are coming and they're mean. So we're going to go to 12th Street and have lunch. Didn't get any video this morning. We just had probably the most exhaustive practice session of all time. Burned almost 2 gallons of fuel in a matter of 8 hours. Working out in the sun. Haven't had anything to eat, anything to drink. Ken Tyson got food poisoning. He hasn't even been out to the field today. Now what we're going to do is, part of the F2B program is you have to go and have the models weighed. That's how they decide on the pull test. And this is the first, well, they've done it in the past with a different formula, but we've always, at least the last 3 or 4 cycles, weighed the models. That's always been a part of this. So we're going to go down there and hopefully capture some of that, and that's always a lot of fun. And of course everybody wants to have the lightest model, and but it looks like the unfortunate thing, and Gieske has said it's going to thunder and rain any minute now. It rained when we got out here. It's looking like rain now. I think that's Oliver in front of us. Yeah, maybe it is. Do not fly near high power lines. So where do they build a field? Now we're going to go to this AMA building that you see right up here, which is really a nice facility. We get to use it for various things, like, for instance, what we're going to do right now. It looks like everybody's there already. That might be the last one. I don't know. Oh, it looks like we have a prime parking spot. As he plows into Rich Oliver's new car. So here we are on this great facility. You can see out. Girth, I like that word. This is the room where they're doing the judging. There's the laying down. I don't think there's much room in there. Well, they got some models up here. Oh, pointless. Leave them outside.
So what frames are these?
Well, this is the
Yeah. Yes, I know.
Take this number times.
Take that number and times 1,000.
1.72. So another 17 more.
Oh, 1720.
Now he's got his flaps down on that.
No, 1720 or 17.2.
1720 on the old.
Yeah. Oh, you're just over the weight limit, Bill.
Should kick over.
60.69 ounces?
That's about the right number.
Now, do I submit this?
Bill, come here. No.
Do I submit this?
Or you just putting one on all of them for right now?
Okay. And who's next?
Yeah.
Matt Newman?
That's all right, you're just gonna use that to show you.
Well, no, next year.
Matt, you have one airplane?
Yep. Right, so we're only doing that. We're only putting those.
Shall we use one for everybody?
Geez, I have to change my tip weight now.
Yeah, sure you can.
Put the motor back in, Bill.
What's your surface area?
Right, but yes, they run the problem number is. Yes, the total 690 and the tail.
690.
690 plus 25%, 20, 22.
It's usually about 180. Average is about 180.
About 870. About 870. 870. This is your
Okay.
number one model, is that correct?
What engine?
61. 61 two-stroke. And what's the UV number? Where is that hiding? 64805.
That's what,
64805.
wait, for hours trying to find that one at the, in the, over at the country.
And let's see what I'm. Oh, what's his speed number? B003. 003.
Can you see that okay?
I can't now.
We need to thank for that one.
Okay.
No?
And make sure you put that motor right back in right after appearance judging. All right. Matt, it's a combination of modeler and the model.
1820.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
We'll take a lot of paint.
Oh, wait a minute. Once you submit it, it's gone. It's gone. I just pulled him back up again, and he was gone.
Uh-oh, Matt was gone.
Hold on, Matt.
Matt?
Don't leave yet.
You're not gone.
According to that thing, you're not here.
I'm not here, okay. Everybody got a bad imagination.
I'm going to ask you the questions again, so you can get different numbers.
Over here.
I think we already have this.
.61, two-stroke. Submit. Then go back to him.
And the total squares were what?
I calculated it based on the wing and the tail.
670.
670 is the wing, and then another 170.
What did you say it was?
671.
840. 840 is what I said.
Okay.
That's an approximate guess.
That's fine.
A rough approximate guess.
Do you need the airplane again?
No.
I'm going to put it away this time.
Yeah. Gotta go back.
Hold on, Bill. Come back.
Whoever's next.
What Matt Newman's surface weight was?
1820.
Okay.
61 two-stroke.
They want your height too, Robbie.
And your AMA number again?
64805.
Remember, 870. He didn't know the process was.
870 or 820?
870. Whoever's next.
Okay.
Next? He cut him.
Alan cut him off. Alan's pulling rank here. General Brickhouse.
24%.
Okay, what?
Matt, you can
You have a 61?
1.97, a new leader in the clubhouse.
1970, right?
1970, yeah.
And your AMA number? 801. And approximate square inches?
670 plus 24%.
670 plus
Well,
20.
figure it out for me.
Yeah, who's the school teacher here?
830, Alan.
31?
830.
830.
Okay.
AMA number?
801.
801.
You don't want to go back through the crowd.
We don't have a prefix for it. Prefix.
Do,
Model number 1.
or A, just do everybody A's. Oh, Bill Rich was a 1, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And so was Matt Newman. So Al, we're gonna do ABC now.
Okay. I tested on the third number, okay.
I hope you guys appreciate me letting you use my office.
There is no Uber now. Okay, that's good.
That's where you been working on your airplane last 3 days? You build that airplane in here, brother?
51399 on the AMA.
51399.
This B?
This is A or B? Surface area approximately?
760.
That included the whole thing? And the weight?
1490.
And the engine?
40. 0.402 stroke.
Got it. You have B?
Yes, B.
Kurt, just have Kurt
goes
bring
on.
the airplane. I'm doing fine. What kind of engine do they have? A 960? Is that a 61?
This is a 61.
Square inches?
A 70. 68. 51,390.
Yes. Yeah, but you have to put this on it. So each plane is like,
Thank you.
Robbie? Oh, wait a minute, I just put Robbie down. Hey.
Well, I'm going to sit this down. I cannot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were.
All that time in the gym and you can't hold a 3-pound plane up.
551759. Robbie, do you have 2 airplanes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is an A.
What kind of engine?
Engine costs 60 words.
Okay, and approximate square inches? Okay. What's in your foot engine? And approximate square inches?
They don't have any bed. They don't have any bed.
He's already got one.
It's off here.
Oh, there goes his.
Okay, there was. What's the record in this is B.
Yes, and it's 551759. Robbie, what's the approximate square? Okay.
1820.
How do you put the sticker on it?
I'm
You don't have to put the weight on those? You don't have to put the weight on
1720.
The old one's lighter up? Which one's lighter? The other one, okay.
Randy Smith.
Randy. Just let them get out of the way.
It's, are you processing yet?
What's that? 173.
Approximate square inches? And what kind of engine?
1,700.
Okay. 1490. Lighter than the Katana. And it feels like. Yeah, and it's like. Kurt's still lighter than that.
Next. What's your family number, Sam? 17223?
172. 172. What's the approximate square inches?
Walker, it's an around 700.
Tail's 200 on an impact.
What's the area that's like stab an elevator rank?
Where's Walker?
Wing's 700. 700.
We need everything.
It's about 25% of that. 25% more.
25%, 640, 480 plus,
She said 700.
okay, 680, and 25%.
So 68.
That's 137, 150, 830.
Sounded like a banker.
And do interest rates come down at the end of this? Or? Can we lock in this rate right now?
700 is what would be plus 5, only 170.
And
Just like a banker.
Very scientific.
That's just right at 64 ounces. Wow.
You just said it was 58, Stan. What happened?
It's a Polish notation.
And what is that?
I don't.
Well, you are.
Well, later. I have my own machine. Okay, where are we? What's your AMA number? 1241. This you're processing only one airplane?
Right. We got one time.
Okay, and your weight is 1540.
170. What do you mean the airplane?
And the total area?
The 636, and that is 23% of the 636, and I got a piece of paper.
You sound like a banker. And at 5% interest?
Your calculator?
23%?
636.
They're all lying. There ain't one guy came within 5 ounces of what he claims the plane weighs. They're all lying.
Well, now I shut it off. I'm trying to find the equal sign. I was doing.
It's just percent.
Well, I did. Okay.
Yeah, very 834. I don't go to the
636.
636. Wing it.
636.
All right. 136
Times 20.23. 146.
776.
Oh, okay.
Check it out, see what it said.
And you're running engine?
It's, 851.
And you weigh 15.
Yes, and then you're...
15 and a half. What's that work out to?
Everybody's got the slide rules.
3/8 divided out with 8.35 on it here.
So if it's 23%, then what you would do to get the total would be to...
Let's go.
Well, wait a minute.
Stan? Dave? Stick over?
I've already put Matthews in, if you want to bring it up.
I get to play on the
Not there. You know what, I just submitted it because that's where I was. I just submitted it. Let me start with this next up anyway. Do me a favor, take this.
What's your MA number, David?
68520?
Yeah, it's all, we're part of an EPG.
Yeah, we don't have that. 68520.
Processing with one model.
What is your surface area, David?
660 plus, but I mean, to mix it, I treated 25% of that. About 65 to 660. All right. We got it.
Is that right? 825 volt, right? Okay, and engine?
We got to refix.
A what?
61.61. This is FBI.
And he's got it in centimeters, or it doesn't have it in feet. Okay, what is it? 61?
Just type in 10 Ray.
Grams?
Cover this spot here. Cover that thing. Hey, how did you know that's where I was?
It does.
Yeah.
You make a good call that anyway. Yeah, it's back of that. We need your total surface area, weight, and...
920, 8061.
Yeah, so...
What's your name? Bobby was playing. Made that much You work pretty good. Nothing else is going on.
I just got one.
They work.
Just to be...
Chris Rudd. 726,353.
I don't need that. Yeah, you don't need to write that down.
Processing just one model.
Chris, what's your surface area, tail and wing, do you know?
I didn't know I was supposed to have that.
Randy will know.
Yeah, Randy should know that.
Randy?
The wingspan's 15.5.
Randy Smith out there.
Randy vacated.
And 46, I think it was 46 inch the length.
Don't guess.
Well, no, and we want just the surface area. What size is the engine? 40?
Yeah.
I can guesstimate it.
Two-stroke.
Probably about 545.
I think it's
5% of that, so.
It's 540.
540?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
540 plus 25% of that. 540. And I'm sure it's not over.
If they catch you, it's $1 an inch with your law.
540?
Yeah.
675 total.
625?
675.
and the weight.
Let's see, 650 plus 180 is...
He's never there, so he would... 1390. 730, is that what it is? 830.
1390. Keep wanting to put it in the middle.
I can't remember there being something.
That's that to change it to, right?
America.
That's why we speak Spanish in school. Thank you very much.
Now, what do I do? I'm out of here?
You're out of here. Oh, we gotta reset this, baby. Yeah, set up
1828.
for large.
What's your total surface area?
830.
Probably lying.
Yeah, of course, if you
What's your
made
engine?
that up 5 minutes ago. Saw you and then lost you.
1880. Shred, you can have this airplane so next time around.
Not me.
Where do you want to fly?
What do we wait, man?
1500. Yeah. Then he painted it.
Stand up, Ted.
Well, it weighed 1500 until I put this on it. Now it's
I want to know about
more.
Who's behind you?
He's got his thumb on the scale, too. But the up way.
On the bottom. Okay. Thanks, Ted.
Philippe.
Gave me a hard time in Shanghai about that bottom. I still beat
Surface area.
it. About 750.
About 750. What is your engine? Really?
1 mile.
Do you have a one stroke?
58.22. That's 2 ounces, 2 1/4 ounces.
That's a lot of weight.
Yeah, one more set.
I'll put her on an 87 monitor. All the guys are pissed at me.
971.
Don't tell me that. Terrible.
That jumbo.
Tooling dimer.
Like what, 9701C?
9701.
Sorry, huh? Yeah, we'll change the first two names. They should register.
Yeah, they built the model in 5 years. What are you talking about?
What is your total service area?
826 and a half.
826.5. What kind of engine?
6261. 2-stroke.
Yeah. And the total?
It's 1840.
It's 1830.
1830.
You were breathing on it.
Whoops, and I wrote down 1830. I do that to your scores too, don't I, Brett?
Yeah.
It is 1830.
Oh, put it on top. It'll make me look cool. Well,
Badge of honor.
it'll make me look like a pathetic for attention. Hey, there's no sense. It's got a lot of tape, perfect model. What are you talking about? Done?
Okay, John. One model, processing, your total surface area, wing and...
When you're done, get the other Strega, because they gotta weigh both models.
61.
When you get done with this, just go get the other one.
And what's the weight?
900.
1800.
63.51.
A good designer knows this right off the top of his head.
Huh?
2.5, my house.
You must live on top of a big mountain.
I do. All this brown stuff around here. There's the helium truck.
This is
534,856.
Can't, you're just doing one airplane, right?
Yeah.
Total surface area.
900.
What engine?
Stab an elevator.
And weight.
Yeah.
1930.
I got 630.
No. Oh, you put the wrong one. 1930. Big. Houses, I mean.
You'll be done.
I've got a whole new crown. I had to hit
That
this
was
one last
funny.
How much was it? How much was it?
That was an 18.
Are you the king so far? 1930. Ooh.
Yes, there was. There's a 1970.
68, 1930. Well, mine isn't in here yet.
Oh, 164,852.
I don't know. We take a guess at the total service. Do you know the percent?
You're processing for one model. Okay,
Hold on one second. Wait a minute. What is it?
I said 23. Yeah, I say 23. 630 square inch wing.
What,
775. 775.
what's your surface area?
25% of 730. We're working on that.
Oh, it's just like 5, yeah.
What are we at on surface area?
Well, you guys are real rocket scientists down there.
What was it? What was 730?
730 on the wing.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's what they want to know is the total?
Mine was 775, right?
Oh, 920.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
God, that's tail heavy,
Somebody
Mike.
goes to Creek.
That's really tail heavy. Who trimmed this plane out?
Clubhouse.
Geeski, give him some nose weight. I want to see Geeskis do that too.
69.87.
What do you do?
It's tail
I
heavy.
gotta put a sticker on it, Mike.
It almost cut Warren's finger off.
One, Bobby?
Pardon me?
One airplane?
That's where I want to place, one.
One airplane?
One airplane.
Surface area?
775.
Yeah, it was over there with the computer.
It's a 40.
Two-stroke?
And tail.
What's your number?
1114.
Something out there.
Parked it a little closer. 1114. And one model. Somebody's got.
Right?
Yep. 1780. No, it's 1390.
You had him for about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Is that the leader in the low end?
Yeah.
1390? Yeah, 40.
What do you want the sticker by?
He didn't move. I just saw that plane.
Hey, Robbie, you got to
It was also the smallest in the
put in 730 plus 25.
Just as
Square
your
surface area.
your scale's wrong.
912.
Now we'll see if Geeski's lying.
73.
Bob, you're processing one airplane? Are we doing A's? I guess I'm doing A's. Okay, total surface area. No? No, but I'm getting phone numbers.
Chippendale Geeski.
61.
What's your number?
937.
Okay. 9.99.
There you go. Stick a sticker on there.
What is that? What is that?
You're gonna be looking for stickers
That takes 2 points
tomorrow.
off your appearance last year.
Richard Oliver.
What does that convert out into now?
50, it was 59 something, hold on.
59.
Well, that's easy to say, Geeski. He's a B something or other.
Bob, you said it was 49.
It's 59.99.
In the
60 on my scale.
in the words of Rick Rudowski, I lied.
So am I a scale or a whale?
What's your number, Rich?
762.
Surface area, Richard?
Hey, Wes, you could go get the plane and get at the end of the line.
Engine?
Get the good plane and just get at the end of the line, so I don't lose the
We don't have
footage.
brand names.
No, unless you want to shoot footage, and I'll do it.
This is placement.
What, you get your plane in there? Yeah, and Ken will get the other one. Ken will get the
Doesn't work
backup
here.
plane.
Computer won't understand it, sorry.
1770.
I'd be done.
You be done. Yeah, I can put a sticker on it, maybe.
Got your decal, wait a minute.
I forgot about that. Just get Warren to do his job. I keep hoping. What do you want down on it?
Don't like this. Need to have alphabetic stuff. Yeah, God.
Let me go this way.
61882.
Bob, what's your
912.
engine?
61.
Wait.
1850.
Was that right? 1850 kilograms.
65.28.
Oh, that's
Outside
better.
bottom or puppy.
Why don't you tote one of them some
I don't know. This is gonna be totally, I was thinking,
We'll start the
I
limit.
need to have that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a number behind him. I gotta talk to him. That's, I'm just gonna.
172.
80.
It's gonna take me half an hour. Fair wage. Who knows? I don't even see him on here.
What is it, 61? Two-stroke?
I don't know, is it? Wait a minute. Surface area. What's your total? 903.8. It works, honey, it works.
did that too.
58.31 DM squared, dear.
I did that
That's the way, grand.
This would be a pain.
1570.
What did Bob want?
1390. 55.4. Box was really light. Not good.
I can't talk to you other
Okay.
I'll fill them out when we're finished.
Beef this up a little bit here.
Oh, wonder.
This one we use for everything.
Well, you can do it. If you want to
Is that
take
gonna
it.
get close? I think it's gained some weight, Bill. I could be sitting in the room. I think it's gained some weight. No, they're not on at the
Okay,
same
there's
time.
only two. Bill Rich.
Oh.
No, there's more than that. All those that I put in.
Serene is processing 2 airplanes.
Okay,
This is number 8.
This is A, this is the light one. This-
A, engine.
The white one's 72. 4-stroke.
Oh my God, you're the first one. What's your total surface area?
830.
And the weight?
1910.
And then
Oh, damn, I did it again. 1910?
wing.
Okay, his AMA number? Okay, wait a minute. And engine, and engine is a 70.72 and 4-stroke.
Same thing.
30702.
203. What is your,
Model. This is the same dimension. This is a B model.
B model. Whoa! Hey, calm.
And the winner is... Let me reposition this.
So what's, hey, Don, take your hand off that.
All right.
again, it's
2,010.
All right. 2,000, that's pretty bad, isn't it? How many you guys beat? Is that the year?
How many points did you? You have the same engine. Well, you said it was the same engine.
No, same except for the engine.
So you have the same.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So me and Dave both get that one. Me and Dave both get that one.
Yeah.
Where do I want it? Hey,
You really play that game?
Give me your keys, Wendy. No, I think your car.
And the last one.
No, leave it the way I thought. Bring a prop with you, just put that on
Anthony
the
comes
screen.
in last.
Yep. There goes Walker's record right out the window.
Had to have somebody else carry it.
72, 618. What, I'm sorry, what was,
It's sliding, yeah.
Wendy, what was the surface area?
910.
And what
Do
kind
you
of
think I don't know
engine?
that kind of stuff? Two-stroke Jet 61.
Okay, and the weight is?
1990.
1990.
What is that, 69?
70.22.
Ooh.
But it's the shiny
Pilot
stuff.
and never.
Is that it?
Where do you want that? Underneath?
Doesn't matter, anywhere war.
Tell you what, let me give you the outboard tip.
Did Stan Powell come through? Yeah.
Warren, I got another model coming. He's getting it out of the truck now.
Processing too?
Oh, you are?
DR.
Oh, well, you screwed up. Okay, B. What's your surface area on the other one?
Same as this, pretty much the same.
And engine?
Same engine.
Go out that door, come back.
I think,
How many are gone?
I can absorb
I think he is too.
Anybody have any questions regarding said same item? Okay, then I'm all set. Huh? In starting? What about it?
I haven't like you started. I will use it to clear the motor, but I will flip it.
Good.
But then just to be aware that sometimes the city hit it, but
That's before you raise your hand. Right. All right. Basically, this thing is pretty much unchanged from the past. The big, I guess probably the biggest single change, or a couple of reasonable changes. As far as the pliers are concerned, there will be a lower, for most people, pull test than in the past. The pull test now is 10 times the weight of the bottle plus 0% minus 10%. So none of you will pull more than 10 times the weight of your airplane. That was confused. No problem. Not big on numbers. Not big on numbers. He's a big number. And that was a recent change in the interests of safety, because there were several people who felt that the 30-kilogram pull test for a vehicle or for an airplane that exceeded 2 kilograms was more than a little punitive and tough on airplanes. So we will be pull testing, so you should not have as heavy a pull test as you had in the past. The other thing is, a couple of things regarding the scoring. The judges will be scoring in tenths of points as opposed to half points. And that is in an effort to keep the jumps from being so big. In the past, on the 18K maneuver, which is the horizontal score 8, it was a half point, and the score was 9 points. And when you have contests that are won and lost by 2 and 3 points, it gets pretty tight. Got that, Bill?
Yeah, I got it. I remember that square.
And one other thing is when you pick up your score sheets in the
sound
past, with 5 judges, which we'll have on each circle tomorrow, and as well as on Sunday. With 5 judges, we will throw out the highest score and the lowest score. In the past and in the nationals, we then have averaged the 3 remaining scores, so you get a score in the vicinity of 1,000 points or thereabouts. We will now do as they do in the worlds, and that is sum of the 3. So the scores will be in the 3,000, 3,100 point range. Do your good job. Basically, the other thing is we're going to be using, as I said, 5 judges per circle. We're going to have we're going to fight 4 fights tomorrow, 2 on each circle. You take the better flight from each circle, total those 2, and the top 10 scores then will proceed to fly on Sunday in the finals, and then those scores are discarded. And on Sunday, the finalists will fly 3 flights. You will count the better 2, and the team members will be chosen by the 3 highest scores. You'll end up being the 4th highest score. And past that, I don't have a whole lot. I'm pleased to see a lot of people out here. I hope the weather cooperates, because I don't want to spend Labor Day here, frankly. Yes.
For the 4 flights, are you circle 4, circle 3, circle 4, circle 3? Alternating circles?
I believe we are, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You're pitting on that off the same pit, so it won't make a whole lot of difference. One of the things that I'm a little bit concerned with, usually there are more people around. I don't know where they're all at. But so far, my old reliable pit boss isn't here yet. So I may need a pit boss. And I will also need a couple of runners. And I also need a timer for each circle. So those of you who aren't operating full-time or want to help out, we need help in that particular area. So if you want to volunteer, let me know. And as far as I am concerned, that's really about all I have. The wind speed that is treacherous is right about 28 miles an hour, I believe. That's what a porta-johns go over. So, and
That's the wind meter, the monthly wind meter.
Yeah. So that speed is a little bit lower, but I don't think they're projecting any kind of winds to that degree. So, yeah, Bill?
If official flying starts at 8, what time can we start in the morning?
6:30, just like the finance.
That's right. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm sorry, that wasn't included in there. I'd like to apologize for Wynn in that he didn't, we probably had a little short on communication, and I'm not going to point any fingers, but lack of communication between PAMPA and AMA, and there were some changes that were made in the sporting code December of '02, and so you had to be very conscientious to find the things. We're supposed to be able to get it off the internet, but me and zip drive don't get along too good, so I can't read what comes up on the zip drive. And the AMA was finally kind enough to send me one. So, and one of the things that there are Some differences in, and Gary's going to go over a fair number of them with you, is that there is a new judge's guide. And there are some differences, so Gary's going to cover that stuff. And I wish you all well, and we're going to be back here again next year, hopefully, and we're going to get the chance to see if we can win one of these damn things on our own turf. I sure hope so, but you guys are going to have to fly well to do it. Thank you very much. Glad to see you here, and I hope everything works out for all of us. Take care.
Don't sit down. Any stack on that paper.
I'll be right back.
Come back. Yes.
Gary.
Don't leave me here by myself. Okay, as Warren said, there is a few changes. There are a few changes in the sporting code itself. Mostly just the .1 scoring and the full test change. Before I get into that, I need 2 volunteers before you all leave this room today to warm up the judges tomorrow. Okay, so just think about it. What I've decided with Warren, if nobody volunteers the first 2 guys, we've got Wendy there. I got one more.
Yeah, Bill's going to do it too.
No, I'm going to stick Bill.
No.
Somebody else. Thanks. And I don't know what Warren said. I'd like to start the warm-up lights at 7.
No, you haven't.
Okay. Keith and I and Warren spent this morning going through this judge's guide. I've gone through it about 3 or 4 times, but it is new, so we're working with something that we've not worked with before. So you may have some questions, and let's bring them up now. I'm also going to go through this tonight with the judges to make sure that they understand. We have some judges who are new also, so it's not a perfect world, but it should be all right. Okay. I'll hit these things fast because some of them are not any different than they were. Definition of attempt. Attempt when the model aircraft does not become airborne within 3 minutes of the starting signal, or the competitor does not enter the circle within 2 minutes of being called to fly. That's no change from what it is before. Definition of official flight, no change. An official flight, the model becomes airborne. Okay. Cancellation of a flight, a little tiny bit different than what we're used to in the AMA. A flight is canceled when jettisoning of permanent model parts occurs at any time from the release of the model aircraft to when the model aircraft stops forward motion on landing. Okay, so this happened to us at the NASA. The airplane stops and it hasn't lost anything, it's okay. And then the wheel falls off, it's still okay. But if the wheel falls off before it stops, then it's not okay. Then that flight doesn't count, that flight cancels.
When you say cancel,
That's what I said.
qualified, the airport doesn't get to refly.
No refly. In other words, you're not out of the picture. But the flight was official when you went in the air, so it is an official flight, not an attempt. I'll get to it. If the wheel falls off before the airplane stops, you lose that flight. However, you're not out of it because you've got 2 flights on each circle.
But in other words, it's logical when we look at the AMA, it rewards you.
Okay, Frank.
Back to the 2 circle bit. 2 flights count. Let's say that you lose 2 flights on 1 circle. You have to have a flight from each circle.
A flight from each circle.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be the total of this set of
In
judges.
Bill's case, if you
That's
break
flight.
2 props on
Total
each
this
circle.
set of judges, that's flight. Robin?
In the finals, the juniors are going to be on a separate circle, right?
Okay, Bill, you want to address that?
My understanding is that on finals day, the junior finals will be run separately. As far as different circle, I can't address that. I'm not sure exactly how that works. But that's consistent with the way it works at the World Champs, that that after you fly the qualifying rounds, take your top whatever to the finals, and then they take the top juniors to the finals, have separate finals. People who know me know I can hardly say hello in 30 seconds.
Done good, okay. We covered this cancellation of flight as far as losing a wheel or something like that. Okay, scoring. A maneuver flown out of sequence is not scored. It's a 0. Omitted maneuvers are not scored. But succeeding maneuvers are considered to be in sequence if flown in the proper order relative to the remainder of the pattern. So you come along and you skip your triangles. That's 0. Then you go ahead and do the next maneuver, your 8s, then that's in sequence, that's scored, and the rest of the flight, as long as it is in sequence, is scored. I don't want to pick on Ted because he wants to go out.
I'm probably the only one that
Yeah, right, Ted. What's that? As Don pointed out there, the pattern points in that case are not a word. Okay. We will have official timekeepers on each side.
Areas are worth emphasizing that the state regarding omitted maneuvers should reinforce your mind, you don't go back and do your...
That will reinforce that, and then it comes up another point here. Said that some of the best 2 flights. That's really the only difference here in the, except for the landing, in the document that is the sporting code. Now the landing, and this is how it was covered in Germany, unless David and some of them call me a liar. A correct landing is judged when the model descends from normal flight smoothly from normal flight level to land with no bounds or unusual abruptness, without any part of the model aircraft other than the gear having touched the ground. The model comes to a stop within 1 lap from the point of touchdown. That's easy. The point of touchdown is 1 lap after the point at which the model begins its descent from level of flight. Let me tell you what level of flight is, because it's different than what it was in the past.
That's me for 21 miles. That's exactly what I'm...
Motor stops where fall is. I do a full lap and touch down where fall is. It says here, landing, entry, for normal level flight at any height between 1.2 meters and 1.8 meters, which for most of you guys is about 5 feet. Okay? Now I'm not saying, if you start up here that you're going to get a 2 for your landing. But if you want a 10, you're going to start here. Yeah, it's damn near impossible.
Does that mean when the engine quits, you should be in that range, or when you pass through that range?
Whenever you get to that range.
Does your engine quits at 30 degrees when you get to that point?
As long as
One.
fine. Okay? And that's the way they've been doing, right, David?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is quite a bit different from the rest of this judging guide, and let's make sure that you understand what I'm saying and that I know what the hell I'm saying, okay? And I'm certainly not going to read the whole thing. But one of the points, Ted and a bunch of us in here were involved in rewriting this thing. It is stressed that individual interpretation, now this is addressed to the judges, individual interpretation of the intent and or meaning of the FAI's sporting code is strongly discouraged. What that means is that Keith can't say, hey, this is the way it ought to be done, or Gary can't say this. It's spelled out here what you ought to be looking for, okay, from the judge's perspective. The purpose of these judging instructions is to eliminate any need for such interpretation by individuals. That means read the book. In all of the following maneuver marking instructions, the descriptions have been written from the viewing point of the pilot and not the judges. how it looks to you and not how it looks to me as a judge. And I've got to interpret what a square looks like from where I sit, okay? Judging focus, a little bit different than what we've had in the past. In order to get a complete picture of each maneuver, judges should focus their attention on 4 major aspects. So it's talking about turn radius and things like that. Therefore, judges should award the highest mark to the model aircraft turning the tightest, sharpest corners, provided that the required line elevation angles and/or the model's aircraft's pitch angles have also been achieved. And they should award the lowest marks to the model aircraft making the largest, softest turns. Yes, sir.
There's been an adjustment, or there will be an adjustment already. Hey, changes like that. As this concerns the 2 junior pilots that are here, rather than we have you in with the senior pilots tomorrow for 4 flights. Okay, and the junior team member will be chosen by the person who has the sum of the 2 better scores on better single score on each circle. Okay, is that fair enough?
Okay, so we don't fly on Sunday?
No fly. Any problems with that?
We don't fly on Sunday?
You don't have to fly on Sunday, no. Because on Sunday you'd be flying 3 flights and pick the best 2 in front of 1 set of judges. This gives you 4 flights and in front of 2 sets of judges, and I think frankly will be a fair evaluation and give you a benchmark as to how you compare, how close you are to the senior pilots. Part of the reason that we have just a little bit of confusion is that there is an opportunity for the junior pilot. The junior pilot, as Rob knows, flies in the qualifications with the senior pilots at the Worlds. If the junior pilot qualifies in the top 15, he flies the finals with the senior pilots. And then on Sunday flies, or whatever day it happens, whenever they have the junior finals, you will fly 3 flights and take the better 2 there. So it's conceivable that a junior pilot could be world champion. Why a person would want to move from junior to senior, because to fly, there's no gain. In fact, what it would probably actually hurt the team effort, because if the junior happens to have a better score in the finals, that score is included as far as the team. So essentially, you have a 4-member team to take the best 3. So that can be a real opportunity. Okay? Thank you. I'm sorry.
Consideration of external factors, what that really says, is judged the same way. That's the way it's always been. The results of awareness. We have some new judges. I'll cover it with them. If you see me looking at the scoreboard, do let me know. If they don't look at the scoreboard, the thing's over. It says the head judge, that means should ensure all members of the judges panel observe these requirements. Okay, judge's position, different than it's been in the past. Let me go back to how you get on the circle, okay? Walk on. This is how it was handled in Stevnitz last year. After entering the circle, you've got 2 minutes from the guy leaves to you've got to get on, okay? After entering the circle, the competitor is allowed to check the wind direction, choose his takeoff point on the circle, and position the judges accordingly. At that time, make a sign to the circle marshal, and he'll start your 3 minutes. You've got the time from when you work on walk onto the circle, get your airplane where you want it, decide where you want the judges. Now, if you don't move the judges, they're going to assume that you're happy with where they are. From that point, the panel of judges should be placed in a position defined by each competitor prior to starting his or her official flight. As I said before, if no change to the judge's position from the previous official flight, this is very wordy, is requested by the pilot of the next official flight, then the position of the panel of the judges at the time of starting the next official flight is assumed to be correct. So if you don't tell us to move, you got that? Okay. Now here's where the change is. Judges may, however, at their own discretion, move from the position originally taken at the start of the official flight by up to plus or minus 1/8 of an lap during the official flight. And this is where we're a little weak, I think, compared to the rest of the world. No, it's not, unfortunately. A lot of the other competitors in the world, when they take off where Robbie's sitting, wind's at my back, and they start their pattern there, that's downwind, and then the wind shifts over here, the judges are not going to move all the way over there, and the judges cannot score, but they can see. So you as a pilot are going to have to do your maneuvers down there where Robbie is giving you all the score. You'll be scored the other way. I mean, if you do them over here, you'll be scored. You just may not like this score. No. Judges can move 1/8 of a lap in either direction. 45 degrees.
During the course of the flight, or only at the gear correction?
1/8 of a lap, and 1/8 of a lap is quarter of a lap.
9 degrees.
Thank you. I'm going to retire long with you.
Then why don't they fly it?
Okay, so I'm not trying to be a hard ass about it.
Does it say the judges can't move?
They can move 1/8 of a lap in either direction.
During the course of the flight?
During the course of the flight.
What I'm asking is,
What's that?
you said they can. Does it mean some of them say, I'm not going to, and the other ones move? Is one going to sit down and two more move?
No, they're going to move.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. Well, they may not necessarily move together.
No, listen, judges may, however, at their own
You're a no
discretion,
mover.
move from the position originally taken at the start of the
You're in a hell.
Yeah. Yeah, Alan?
Just for clarification, when we're telling the judges, are we telling them where we're putting the maneuvers or where we want them?
Let's see what it says. Should be placed in a position defined by each. I think tell the judges where they want them, where you want them.
So if we're going to do a maneuver, if we do, can we indicate during the flight that we want to change the slightly?
No, the judges got to move.
That's fine.
You don't have to do like we do in the AMA, say, I'm going to do this one over here.
You can only place them once, and that's before you start.
Yeah. David, is that how you understood, Billy? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What we are trying to accomplish here, Warren and I, are to make this as much like the way it was in Sebnitz and the way it's going to be here for the world.
That's correct. That's correct.
Remember the wind direction,
Well, it was easy to tell what the wind was because you just watched the chairs move across. Wasn't hard to figure. Okay. This is what we were talking about a little bit, Ted. You asked the question. Execution of maneuvers. Judging. A minimum of 1.5 laps. Now, at the AMA, they say a nominal 2 laps. That's different. So you could do your hourglass and your overhead, and that's 1.5, and that's okay. Anybody got a question with that, Bill?
I know I should know this, but when you take off, you have to pass by the judge.
Depends where you take off.
Is it passing the judges or where you take off?
It's where you take off. Okay, let's say I'm standing here, I'm the judge. Gruber is where you take off. You go by Gruber once, twice, 3 times.
No, it's fine.
No, that's the maneuver.
You need to do the 5. It's 5.
Yeah, 5.
5 faster your takeoff.
Yeah.
You can start the wing over at 4 and 4 down.
Yeah.
You took off down.
Yeah, and all scenario he gave you.
Okay.
But still, you're past the judges 5 times, that's one.
Well, you would have, because you would have come by, well, first, when your laps were
Wing over.
Bill, you scratching your head or you got a question, buddy?
No question.
No, neither one.
I'm just going to go faster 5 times.
What a plan, Bill, what a plan. I can see why you got into sales.
The question is, though, if you don't do 1.5 laps, it's a 0 for the next maneuver, okay? Judging incomplete maneuvers, 0. Judging omitted maneuvers, we talked about, 0. Judging maneuvers flowing after a maneuver has been omitted, as long as it's in sequence, then you get judged on it, okay? Judging maneuvers flowing the incorrect number of figures, so if the guy does 4 inside loops, you don't get an extra point for that other 4 loops, you get a 0. Who would do that? Right here it says, but maneuvers actually flowing with 2 or 4 loops, 0. And I think I'm going to go over this other stuff with the judges, the criticality of certain things, but I think that covers most everything there. I'm open to questions and Warren will answer.
Just have one more on this landing thing. 1 full lap from the time you get to level flight. Is that right? The wheels have to touch down, or the motor, or the plane has to stop?
The wheels have to touch down.
So you can touch down and then roll another quarter of a lap?
So you can have a roll another whole lap.
Okay.
You could be going
Mine don't roll that far, so that...
70 mile an hour coming out of your loop. Come down here, 5 feet, level off, come around, touch down, and roll all the way up to that point from where you started down.
You don't have to.
And that would be a 10, okay?
Okay.
Well, you don't have to roll all that to get a 10.
No,
But if I do, you're going to give me a 10.
I'll give you a 10. But
I got it on video too, Bill.
it's exactly the same thing. You define this point now, you're going 70 miles an hour, you do 1 full lap, and you touch down there, and you roll 10 feet, it's still 10.
Good.
I understand that right. If we do a loop, say it's 45 degrees, and whenever we come down, we get 1.8 feet. That's when you're going to begin judging the landing approach. Is this correct?
1.8 meters.
Meters.
1.8 meters, 1.8
meters. That's objective.
Okay?
We did some of those in Lawrenceville.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Billy and David, that's how we were doing it, right?
Maybe someday, I understand on the same kind of discussion, maybe with the rules, being such a fluctuation. Maybe it would be nice if we set up some landing, practical landing policy, we didn't try to do this about 1 lap that nobody in the world wanted to do.
Why make it so everybody can do it?
Yeah.
Why make it so nobody can do it? Then you can score between 0 and 100.
Well, it seems like that could be looked at.
There's that proposal process is still going on, and so I'm sure we did this.
Yeah, there, and just for those of you who are interested in where we're going, this judge's guide will be a judge's guide that has been approved by the AMA, rules proposal that will... Yeah, but if that's what we will go by AMA-wise, as far as maneuver, what the judges should be looking for. And that will be, what, 2005? I should know that, I'm the boss. Now, the next set of FAI changes will not be in effect next year, will not be in effect in 2004. What we are doing tomorrow and the next day are the same rules, with maybe a few exceptions, that will be in effect in 2004 here. Okay? Any more questions?
All right, so it looks like we got some of the ideas of what's different about F2B than AMA stunt. And tomorrow we will be warming up the judges, 7:20, so we'll try to get out early.
On the side of me, slow down.
What do you want to do?
I'm going back with you. Okay, I'll see you back there.
It's really pouring, it's a mess. We're definitely not coming back out flying. And we're going to try to get some good food. We've been out at the field since 5:35 this morning. It's now 6:40. It's a long day, baby. It's a long day. Saturday morning, first morning of the competition, and it looks every bit like we're going to have some weather coming in here, some rain or something. Not real friendly looking skies, so we're just going to hope this whole thing. And already the breeze, if you look up the trees, the breeze is blowing, things are moving, and it sure looks like rain. We'll see. What do you think, Ken? 50-50 rain or no rain?
I'd say 60-40 rain.
Yeah, I'd say 90-10 rain. Everything got wet putting it. Huh?
Trying to be optimistic.
Yeah. This is it though. You just can't win. Unbelievable. Just can't win. Well, as unpromising as it looked back at the motel, it doesn't look any better here. And in about a half an hour, we're going to be warming up the judges along with Brett Buck, if the weather holds. But again, weather is not looking real promising. And you heard, we recorded the whole judges meeting. You heard the format is 4 flights, 2 on each circle. You take the high score from each circle, total them together, and the top 10 guys fly tomorrow. The first official flight is going to be Mike Scott. And we're going to try to do most of this from the tripod so that you can get your geometry. Obviously, this is a prime factor, and people like to look at the tape. So the first thing we'll try to do is set the camera and try to get a position on the first flight where we can see the hole as much as possible. We need to see if he's going to pick a spot to do his maneuvers in. Mike Scott, Texas. It takes a little while to see where the people are going to be doing their maneuvers. shot, first official. The camera running here for a few minutes because we have to go over to the other circle. But this will be Chris Rudd's first F2B flight. Chris Rudd, one of our 2 juniors that are here today.
Take directly downwind.
Billy, anytime you're ready.
I'm gonna get my guy here and we'll...
Okay.
Yeah.
I had to go over and launch 10th plane. Chris Rudd is one of the people I think is going to do very well in this and be part of our group for a very long time. I wanted to get this, his first official F2B flight, for him on video. Flying a Vector. And he's building another one. Ed Cotton, our friend from Canada, got him a Vector kit. They were unavailable for a long time. Ed managed to turn one up for him. And we got him some motor parts from Tom Hampshire, and we made him a pipe, so I hope he's going to be real competitive in the future and carry on the tradition. It would be a shame to have an F2B team go overseas without a junior. Now, we only have 2 juniors. The other one is Robbie Gruber, of course. Not too windy so far. So far. background, they're having a free flight event, and free flights are starting to take to the air. And that was Chris Rudd's first F2B official flight. I hope he remembers it forever.